Time for another afternoon of Chowan basketball. Some men's variety we have for you here today. Gaddis Hodges with you at courtside at the Hawks Athletic Center for another Conference Carolinas matchup between Emmanuel, who is a preseason pick by the coaches in this league, who comes in at 3-1 in league play and 5-4 against our own Chowan Hawks. They're looking to break a two-game slide after losing down at Mount Olive back earlier this week. When you look at both of these clubs, both those clubs got off to a good start, but it's kind of gone downhill for the Hawks here of late, losing at North Greenville about a week and a half ago before losing an opportunity to play last Saturday against Erskine when Erskine was forced to postpone. And then they had to go down to Mount Olive, always a tough place to play. And, of course, Mount Olive shot 55.8% for the game, including 68% in the second half. So it's kind of interesting to see what we'll see here today from a very good Emmanuel team who's led by maybe the best player in the league, KJ Jones, who's averaging 21.8 a game. He is leading the conference in scoring. This is a team for Coach T.J. Rosine that was 18-12 a year ago, but they've got 5 players that averaged in double figures. They had 6 players that averaged double figures a year ago. 5 of those guys are back, led by Jones, who averages 21.8. But the second leading scorer tonight, Tavon Stuckey, did not make the trip from Franklin Springs. He is not dressed tonight and will not play tonight. So don't know where we'll see him tomorrow night, but as these two teams will get together again tomorrow afternoon. If you're not familiar with the change, Chowan ladies were scheduled to play Emmanuel girls. Emmanuel girls got a little pandemic issue going on in their program. They were forced to postpone tomorrow's game, so it'll be just a men's game. That game has been moved from 4 to 2 o'clock tomorrow, much like it was moved from 7 to 5 today. So gives Franklin, the Emmanuel team who hails from Franklin Springs, Georgia, which is about a 6.5, 7-hour trip from here in Murfreesboro, a chance to get on the road a little bit earlier tomorrow and get back to campus and get ready for next week. So good job by the coaches and the ADs of both schools to make that move to get those games moved up. Also, you're looking at a 5 o'clock start instead of a 7 o'clock start. Gives this team a chance to get some dinner afterwards and get back to the hotel in an ample amount of time and get ready for tomorrow's game. This is the only game in the conference scheduled for tonight. We've got a full list of games tomorrow. We'll give you those as we work through our broadcast here. Hawks led by Jaden Willis, who's had a good start since transferring here from Limestone. He's averaging 18 points a game. Jonathan McFall, the transfer from Catawba Valley Community College, playing well also, averaging 16 points per game. But Chowan's without one of their key players today, Elijah Hill, who is at the Conference Carolinas cross-country meet representing Chowan. He will be back here tomorrow and in uniform tomorrow, so he is out for tonight. So the Hawks playing a little short-handed here tonight, but Emmanuel's playing short-handed as well with the second leading scorer in Tavon Stuckey. We'll take a 2-minute break and come back and listen off between Emmanuel and Chowan. You're listening and watching on GoCUHawks.com. Now let's get you to our starting lineups for this matchup today between the Emmanuel and Chowan men. Emmanuel will start in the front court, a 6'8 sophomore from Gainesville, Georgia, Javon Rucker. He prepped at the East Hall High School. He'll be joined in the front court by KJ Jones, a 6'6 sophomore. He's the reigning Player of the Week here in Conference Carolinas. He hails from Atlanta, Georgia. Also joining him along the front line will be Brandon Simpson, a 6'4" senior out of Germantown, Maryland. And he played at Seneca Valley High School up in Germantown. In the backcourt, Isaiah Foster will get the start, 5'10" junior from out of Somerville, Georgia. And his backcourt mate will be Michael Wright, who leads his team as 3 pointers made, 6'5" junior from Somerville, South Carolina. Emmanuel coached by T.J. Rosine. For the Hawks, they'll start their normal group with the exception of Jamal Thomas taking the place of Elijah Hill in the backcourt. Jamal, the 6'5" senior from Lakeville, Illinois. He transferred from Kaskaskia College, averaging 8 points a game. He'll be joined in the backcourt by Jaden Willis, the 6' junior from out of Randallstown, Maryland, transferred from Limestone, who's the leading scorer for the Hawks at 18 points a game. On the front line, Jonathan McPhail will start at 1 forward spot. The 6'5" junior from the Nassau's out of the Bahamas. He transferred here to Chowan from Catawba Valley Community College. He'll also be joined by Jalen Dillard, a senior from out of Richmond, Virginia. They transfer from Patrick Henry Community College, having 8 points a game, 8.8 points a game. And Take Williams back in the starting lineup tonight, the 6'7" senior who's been battling some injuries here early from out of Richmond, Virginia, also a transfer from Patrick Henry Community College a year ago. He and Dillard played together at Patrick Henry Community College. As we get ready to tip this one off, Brett Vinson, the head coach of the Hawks, assisted by Dave Rogers. Folks, I will tell you, I left some of my materials at home, my score sheets and stuff, so I'm kind of working a little different tonight. Evan Carpenter, our SID, was able to throw some stuff together here for me, so hopefully we can make it work here on the broadcast. But Chowan in solid blue uniforms today. Emmanuel in solid silver, trimmed in burgundy and gold, and it's going to be tipped in the backcourt when it's going to be controlled by Isaiah Foster. Foster gets it inside to Brandon Simpson. He lays it up and in. So Simpson knocks in the first bucket on the nice pass from out front. Here's Take Williams trying a three. It's off the board, no good. Rebounded by Simpson. Simpson pushes up the floor, gets it away to Jones out on the right. He'll cut in the lane. Back to Simpson. Back Jones near side. He'll get it to Foster. Foster caught, turned around by Thomas. He'll kick it back out to Simpson. Simpson working left side against the pressure from out front from Chowan's Jonathan McPhail to get it down inside in a low block. Knocking it down is going to be Michael Wright. So Michael Wright knocks in his first bucket of the afternoon, and it'll make it 4-0 Emmanuel. Emmanuel leads this series. Here's McFall, fall away, jumping right on the right. It's no good. Claimed underneath by Michael Wright. Wright will push it away to Foster. As we are a minute into this one, and it's been Emmanuel up in front here with 2 buckets. They're 2 for 2 from the field. A couple of easy shots here. Here's Wright who steps back. That's correction. That's not Wright. That's Javon Rucker. And Rucker's going to whistle for the push-off and get him for the charge. So Javion Rucker is whistle for the personal. Chowan looking at first basket. Here's McFall, push it on the left side. And you're trying to pressure right front. This is Rucker and switches off with Foster as they work out front against Willis. That comes to Dillard. Dillard push it away to Tonke. Tonke a couple dribbles. Hands it away to Thomas on the right. Back to Tonke trying to go inside. Shot blocked away from him and recovered by Rucker. Rucker pushes away to KJ Jones. And Jones will get it back on the near side to Rucker, who goes to the glass. Layup is no good. And we'll get a foul underneath. The question, that is not Rucker, that is KJ Jones. Foul's going to be on Jamal Thomas, is going to be his first and the team first. And head to the line to shoot a pair of free throws. It's going to be KJ Jones. Jones this season an excellent free throw shooter. 88% makes his first point of the day. Leading scorer in the conference at 21.8 a game. Once again, nobody in the house here other than staff and the cheerleaders here for Chowan due to the January restrictions put out by Chowan University. I think you'll probably see the same for at least a couple more weeks. With Roy Cooper, the governor here in North Carolina, making the move to keep status quo as far as the limitations of mass gatherings. Here's a left-handed shot up and good by Jaden Willis. Nice job by Willis to take it down in a low block and score. Turned around and said something to the official. Thought maybe he might have got pushed underneath. Foster had a notion, didn't take it. Kicks it inside on Thomas. Running left-handers, an air ball. Take Williams there to claim it for Chowan. Trying to get it McFall, who goes in against K.J. Jones and can't score, but he drew the foul. Good job in McPhail. He allowed K.J. Jones to kind of run up his back, and he drew the foul from Jones. His first and the team's second.
That's his first.
And it's going to put Jonathan McFall at the line.
Jonathan McFall at the line shooting.
McFall, a 91% free throw shooter from the stripe, hitting 19 of 21 shots from there this season. 17:40 to go in the first half. Chowan down 6-2. McFall's free throw is short, right off the front of the rim, bounced away. He'll have a second one coming. The Lions of Emmanuel. Chowan, when were formerly members of the NCAA, as was Emmanuel, and that's where the two teams met first. Falls got his first point. Here's a turnover here by Emmanuel over in the corner to Dillard, and he knocks it down for three.
Number 10,
Jalen Dillard has tied it up at 6. Good defensive pressure by Chowan to force a turnover here. As we're trying to get some of our stats here straightened back up, and here's the charge underneath. Push-off's going to be whistled on Rutgers, going to be his second. T.J. Rosine's off the bench talking to the officials about it. He was not pleased with the call, but nonetheless, it's going to go back the other way. Six apiece, 17-11 to go in the first half. These two teams will do it all again tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We'll be here to bring it to you. Take Williams, top of the key, a couple dribbles, gives it off to Thomas. Thomas back to Take. Take going to dial up long distance, right on right, it's an air ball. Came straight in the hands of K.J. Jones on maneuver front court against pressure from the back against the smaller Jamal Thomas. He'll push it away to Foster. Foster penetrates. Pulls up the dribble right at the free throw line. Kicks it back out front. Long three-pointers up and good by Javon Rucker. So Rucker knocks down his first three, and he pushes Emmanuel back in front, 9-6. Emmanuel coming off a win at North Greenville back on Thursday night. And here's a push-off in the backcourt. Foul's going to be whistled on, let's see.
Fouls on Javion Rucker, that is his second.
So it'll be on Rucker, it's going to be his second. As Take Williams will step by the Chowan lineup. And to replace him is going to be Chase Barnett, a redshirt junior out of Matthews, North Carolina. First time we've seen Barnett. Here's Willis to the rack. Foster picked his pocket. Good job by Foster to pick the pocket of Willis. First turnover for Chowan this afternoon. Here's a lob down inside to Rucker. We've got a whistle underneath. They're going to reach in foul coming here against Chowan. Let's see who the guilty party is. It looks like it's going to be on Barnett, who just came in the ball game. It will be his first and the team second.
Fouls on number 5, Chase Barnett.
Nine-6 lead as Rucker will step to the line. The 6'8 sophomore from Gainesville, Georgia, knocks down the free throw. Rucker on the season, a 64% free throw shooter starting today. That'll be his fourth point of this first half. And make it 5s, and he'll extend the lead to 11-6, and he'll come out of the lineup. And then to replace him is going to be Kyle Ingram, a 6'5 sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia. Once again, pretty much all Georgia products with the exception of just a handful for Emmanuel. He hails in Franklin Springs, Georgia. About a 7-mile trip from Murfreesboro down to Franklin Springs. Jadon Willis dialing up a 3-ball. Off the back of the iron, no good. Long rebound near the free throw line. Comes off in the hands of K.J. Jones. Jones will turn around and maneuver as Emmanuel looks to add to a 5-point advantage. They loop it down inside to Simpson. Skip pass over to Foster. Back out front, long jumper for 3 is off the mark out of the hands of Michael Wright. And we got a whistle underneath. Foul's going to be whistled on Brandon Simpson for Emmanuel. That'll get us to the first media timeout. Emmanuel leads here at Chowan with 15:41 to go in the first half, 11-6. Back for more after this 1-minute break on GoSeeYourHawks.com. Chowan swimming team in action as they speak. They hosted UNC Pembroke here at the Bomber Byron Aquatic Center this afternoon. We haven't gotten any results back from yet. Future conference matchup between UNC Pembroke and Chowan starting next year. UNC Pembroke, along with Francis Marion, will lead the Peach Belt and join Conference Carolinas. Gives Chowan a couple more closer teams. With UNC Pembroke, just about a 3-hour and 15-minute drive from here. Francis Marion right at about, not much further down the road, maybe 30 minutes further. Here's Barnett with it at the high post. Carries it inside, scooped it up. Ball's knocked away from him by Ingram, but recovered by Barnett. He tried to get it to Dillard in the backcourt. KJ Jones is going to let it just go out of bounds, and so it belonged after the turnover back to Emmanuel. Barnett got caught in no man's land and got off his feet, no way to go with it. Just threw it back the other way, and Dillard couldn't chase it down. Here's a lob inside. It's knocked away from Jones. Dillard's there to claim it. Off to Thomas. Thomas trying to penetrate. Foster's there to cut him off, and he'll back it back out and reset the offense. Dillard working out between the rings. Back to Thomas. This 2-3 zone is really extended by Emmanuel. They jumped on Ingram quickly. A lot of size on that front line with Jones and Simpson when he broke rucksack. But Dillard goes in the lane. Somehow breaks that trap and drops in his second field goal of the afternoon. And pulled the Hawks within 3 at 11-8. Jones skips it away to Foster. Foster backing back out. And takes another look at this Chowan defense as Dillard pokes it away from Simpson, who has to go back near the middle court line to retrieve it. Here's Jones inside. Kicks it back out to Simpson with 7 to shoot. 14:31 to play in the half. Jones inside, blocked away on a nice play by Jalen Dillard, but recovered by Foster, who knocked it away to Dillard, and the shot clock's going to expire. Jonathan McPhail also in on that action. Good defensive effort that time by the Chowan group that's on the floor. As the shot clock will expire as Jones's shot was blocked away, and Emmanuel couldn't get another shot up in time to keep the shot clock from expiring. Here's Thomas right in the high post to Barnett. In the corner, McFall. He will fake up Simpson, then fires it up. Out on the right, no good. Long rebound comes off to McFall. He'll cut inside, lays it up over Ingram and scores. Nice job by Jonathan McFall to gather in his first field goal of the afternoon. That'll pull the Hawks within 1 at 11-10 with 6 minutes into this first half here from Murfreesboro, North Carolina. Well, we've got some snow on the ground. About 3 inches of snow fell yesterday, but roads are clear. But everybody's able to get here. The shot missed by Wright, but recovered by Ingram, and he sticks it back up and in. Ingram has come off the bench with some good play thus far, and he got his first 2 of the afternoon. Extend the lead to 13. So Jalen Dillard quickly back the other way, lays it up and in. Dillard off to a good start. Jalen now with 7 to lead all scorers. Foster moving to the right side against the smaller Jamal Thomas, who will come pressure, get some token pressure out on the perimeter. Foster goes on the right wing, pulls up the dribble, looking to get rid of it. Looking, finally Michael Wright will pop out and give him some space, and he'll give it right back to Foster. Shot clock winding down. Foster tried to go with it and had his pocket picked by McFall. McFall's behind the defense. His layup is good. Good job by Thomas and McFall out on the perimeter to force Foster into the turnover. The third turnover in this half for Emmanuel, and Chowan's got their first lead at 14-3. Here's Simpson trying to go inside, and he just bodies it up, but it won't go. Chase Barnett grabs the tip ball from McFall over in the corner for the Hawks. Barnett trying to go coast to coast, kicks it in the corner to Dillard. Dillard goes in the lane, back to McFall. Wide open three ball on the right is good. Jonathan McFall drilling it beyond the arc. Dialing up long distance. Jonathan already with 8. Chowan's got their biggest lead at 17-13. Here's KJ Jones trying to penetrate against Willis, and Willis does a good job to cut him off. Simpson dumping it down inside to Ingram, working against the smaller Barnett. Back out front it comes to KJ Jones. Long three is good. Straightaway three ball is buried by KJ Jones, the reigning player of the week here in the conference. Chowan's lead now down to 1. It's 17-16. Inside of 12 minutes to go in the half. Here's a turnover here by Thomas. He's trying to get it cross court to McFall in the corner, stolen away by Simpson. KJ Jones again, three-pointer. This one does not go. The Chase Barnett and Simpson battle, and it belongs to Chowan. The freshman Michael Wright, and it belongs to Chowan. That'll get us to another media timeout. 11:46 to go in this first half. Chowan leads 17-16. We're back after this 2-minute break on GoCUHawks.com. Emmanuel shooting 5 of 11 for 45.5%. Chowan 7 of 14 for 50%. Chowan defense is 4 of 6 Emmanuel turnovers in this first quarter. Or first half, I should say. Got women's basketball, the way they play it on my mind, but the women not playing this weekend. Scheduled to play Emmanuel tomorrow, but that game has been postponed. Paul Whitby, the sophomore from Mount Ironic Rapids, in the lineup for the first time. So he's going to give Barnett a breather. Off it comes near side to Xavier Young, who's also in the lineup. Looks like Dillard and McFall are taking a little breather. Tonke Williams back in the lineup as well. Jamal Thomas finds himself open 10 feet. It won't go. Long rebound comes off the rim and out of bounds. Here's a substitution for Coach T.J. Rosine as he will insert Jasper Gibson in the lineup, the freshman out of Dawsonville, Georgia, as he will replace Foster in the lineup. Chowan looking the inbounds, baseline right to Thomas. Paul Whitby along the baseline, short jumper's no good. Taken down by KJ Jones. Jones will just bring it front court because Chowan has no pressure in the backcourt. Far side, three-pointer on its way. It's an air ball by Kendall Latney, who just got in the game. And Tonke Williams there to take it down for Chowan. Quickly off to Willis. Jaden off to a slow start today. He's averaging 18 points a game, and he has only 2 points. But McFall has done the work here along with Dillard. They two combined for 15 points. Willis getting a call on the right, and he answered it. I called him out, and he knocked it down for 3 right in front of the Emmanuel bench. Hawks leading the Lions here 20-16 as we're near the halfway point of this first half. Gibson handed away to KJ Jones. Jones working against Willis. Takes it to the rack. Left-handed layup is good. Jones just kind of slipped by Willis, and nobody was there to help Willis on the defense. Jones took it right to the rack. Here's Xavier Young back up front to Williams. Left side pass, push pass to Thomas. Thomas back inside to Tonke Williams. who got Ingram out of space, and out of place, I should say, and he lays it in. That's a good recognition that time by Jamal Thomas. He saw the switch off after the Tonke Williams screen, and Tonke went inside and got loose, and here's a push off right front. Illegal pick coming against Jasper Gibson out front. It's going to be the 5th team foul for Emmanuel in this first half. As Jamal Thomas will get out of the lineup for the first time. As Jalen Dillard will get back in to give him a breather. Hawks with Dillard, Willis, Whitby, Williams, and Young on the floor. Here's Whitby along the baseline. Short jumper is up and good by Paul Whitby. The sophomore from out of Roanoke Rapids has got his first bucket. Good playmaking again by the Hawks, who lead it here 24-18. Against Emmanuel, who's 3-1 league play. Chowan's 2-2. Here's a work ball going down inside to Ingram, and he tried to back in, and Paul Whitby trying to stop him, could not. Whitby will pick up the foul, his first. Whitby getting some action early in this one. Remember, Chowan's playing without Elijah Hill, who will be here tomorrow, but is representing Chowan at the Conference Carolinas Cross Country Championships today out in Concord. This is Gibson, loops him down inside to Ingram. He lays it up and in. Kyler Ingram's second bucket of this half. Sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia, doing some good work on T.J. Rosine's bench here. Young trying to penetrate. Backs it back out to Whitby. Whitby for three, no good, and they fight for the rebound. Tonke Williams and Ingram hit the deck, and it's going to be off Ingram because he fell to the floor with it in his hands, and he was laying on the out-of-bounds line, or the end line, I should say, so it'll belong to Chowan. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 9:13 on the game clock. Inbounds it comes to Williams. Williams gets it back to Willis, and off balance three-pointers no good, and it tipped out to K.J. Jones for the rebound for the Lions. Jones will let traffic clear. He'll move it front court, pushes on the far side to Rucker, who's back in the lineup. Rucker at 6'8". Back outside to Gibson, and he drills the three. Jasper Gibson beyond the arc, and he drills the three. Gibson, that's his first three-pointer made this season. Started today 0-4 in the season. Willis in the corner to Dillard. 24-23, Chowan trying to add to this one-point advantage. Here's Willis getting back out front. Rucker at 6'8", trying to chase down Willis, who's only 6 foot. Here's Willis taking it in the lane. Short jumper, no good. Taken down by Rucker, who will walk it front court. Paul Whitby's there to pick him up. He'll push it away to K.J. Jones. Dillard trying to slow down Jones here. He has 7 points. Gibson had a notion, didn't take it. Now pulls up the dribble. Out front it comes to Rucker. Rucker in the corner to Kendall Latney. Latney back to Rucker, and the ball's knocked out of bounds by Tonke Williams, who was fronting Kyler Ingram. Here's McFall back for Chowan, replacing Whitby. Good job by Paul Whitby in his brief work here in this first half. Teammates a little 5 here on the near side. Gibson, baseline right on the inbounds. Right to Rucker. Now Jones has got on the right wing with 3 to shoot. Well, kind of a forced three-pointer, but Jones is no good and tipped around. And Tonke Williams, right man in the right spot, got the tip from Dillard for the rebound. It's Xavier Young out on the left. Trying to go inside. Takes it inside. Forced it off the glass. No good. It was contested by Latney, and rebound comes off to Ingram. Ingram to Jones. Jones in transition, and Xavier Young runs right up his back, knocks him to the deck for the foul. And that'll get us to our third media timeout of the half. Foul on Young is going to be his first and the team fourth. 7:36 left to go in the half. We've got a media timeout. Chowan holds to a 24-23 lead. Back for more after this 1-minute break on GoSeeYouHawks.com. 7:36 showing on our Metaltech of Murfreesboro scoreboard here at the Hawks Athletics Center, Bob Burke Court. Conference Carolinas matchup between Chowan and Emmanuel. This is the 5th time these two teams have played since 2006, when Chowan and Emmanuel were members of the NCAA. Chowan knocked off Emmanuel down at Franklin Springs 74-70, and 3 years later in the NCAA South Regional finale, Emmanuel came back and beat Chowan 95-92 to win the berth to the NCAA Final Four for the national championship tournament. Jones gets inside and scores. And then a year ago, Emmanuel won both games against Chowan. So Emmanuel leads the series at 3-1. And they've just taken the lead on Jones's 9th point. Here's Dillon, turns right, faces Jones, takes it to the rack on it, spins around, lays it up and in. Jalen Dillon with 9 after leading the Chowan score. 9 for Jones, leads the scoring for Emmanuel. Chowan back in front, 26-25. Good effort here by the Hawks in the first half against this team as a preseason pick by the coaches to win this conference. Here's a pass inside to Ingram, knocked away by Xavier Young, and Young couldn't claim it. Good job of coming down, helping Young on Tonke Williams on Ingram. And Xavier kind of got behind him and knocked it out of bounds. And Xavier will come out of the lineup now. Jamal Thomas will return. Join back to the original starting lineup now with Dillard, Thomas, McFall, Tonke Williams, and Jaden Willis. This is Gibson with 6 to shoot. Gibson goes inside on the smaller Willis, turns around and pops, no good. Tonke Williams a good block out on the far side of Blatney with a rebound to Thomas. Thomas coming front court as he tried to pass in the corner to Dillard, and KJ Jones kicked it out of bounds. Once again, a very athletic Lions team for Emmanuel College. It's funny, they opened the season beating Division I Stetson down in Florida. Great win for Emmanuel, who has played Belmont Abbey 4 times. McFall wide open for 3, and he couldn't get it to drop. Rucker with the glass here for the Lions. See a maneuver at front court here at Bob Burke Court as the Lions work to the west end of the floor here at Hawks Athletic Center. Gibson dumps it down inside to Ingram. Ingram over Tonke Williams, and he can't score, and Williams trying to defend, picked up the foul. It's going to be his first. And it'll be the team 5th foul in this first half. So 2 fouls coming here for Kyler Ingram. Ingram this season from the stripe is 63%, 12 of 19 starting today. Takes a couple dribbles, good look at it, and makes it. So we're knotted at 26. Here's Foster Simpson back in the lineup for Emmanuel. Also making his first appearance, Christian Lewis, senior out of Birmingham, Alabama, for Emmanuel. As Gibson will come out, as will Latney and KJ Jones, as Ingram can only make 1 of 2. 5 points for the sophomore Ingram. 6:04 and counting to go in this first half. A good one here from the Hawks Athletic Center. Trying to break a 2-game losing skid. Here's Willis, works off a nice pick for Williams. Far side to Dillon, he'll dial up a wide open 3, it's a little strong. Long rebound, chased down by McFall, Chowan with a fresh 20 seconds to do something with it. Willis to McFall, now back to Dillon. Keith, Tonke, Williams, top of the key, hands it away to Jadon Willis. His 3 is good. Jaden Willis starting to warm up a little bit. The leading scorer for the Hawks down has 8. And puts Chowan back in front, 29-26. Chowan's 3rd 3-ball of the afternoon and 7 attempts. This is Lewis with it. He's just come in the ball game for the first time. Looping it down inside to Simpson. Simpson against the smaller Thomas, lost the basketball. Still loose, knocked out of bounds by Dillard. Dillard and Foster were fighting for it, and the official said it went off Dillard. Here's Michael Wright back in the lineup. And so I think both teams thought it might have been a media timeout, but we're not at the 4-minute mark yet. Now we're set to go. Foster going to trigger it inbounds, baseline right for Emmanuel in their own basket. Loops it inside, or tried to Simpson, and it's out of bounds off Tonke Williams. Ran a set play and tried to loop it inside to Simpson, and Williams got there just in time to knock it away. 7 to shoot on the shot clock for Emmanuel. Foster again to inbound it, looking, and gets it out front to Simpson. Off to Michael Wright. Wright back to Simpson. We got a travel on Michael Wright. It'll be the 7th turnover for the Vistas from out of Franklin Springs, Georgia. Chowan will get it back with a chance to add to their lead here. (29-26) Hawks. Here's Willis caught in the double team. Back to Tonke Williams. Williams pulls up his dribble, hands it away to McFall. Good pressure here coming from Simpson. McFall trying to back front to Jaden Willis with a 10 to shoot for the Hawks. Willis pulls up his dribble to McFall. McFall against the smaller Foster. Jumper's no good. Hit the front rim, bounced up, hit the top of the board, and came back down on the rim, but just wouldn't go in for McFall. Rucker got it deep right corner, loops it down inside, ball's knocked away and stolen by Jamal Thomas. Good job by Thomas, and Thomas is going to be run into by Simpson. The foul for Simpson, it's going to be his second. That'll put Chowan in the bonus. That's the 17th foul here for Emmanuel. Good job by Thomas with the steal. And Jamal Thomas going to get an opportunity from the free throw line. Thomas on the year, a 63% free throw shooter from the stripe. Simpson's out of the lineup. And to replace him is going to be Kendall Latney. So it's Rucker, Foster, Latney, Wright, and Lewis for Emmanuel, as the first free throw is up and good by Thomas. Chowan's going to take the opportunity to insert Andrew Miller for the first time. And Thomas' second free throw rolls around and falls in. So Jamal's on the scoreboard with his first point of the afternoon. Here's Foster, lost the basketball, has to go to the floor to claim it, gets away to Lewis. Lewis in the corner. Kicks it back over to Wright. He'll turn around and fire it off the glass. Latney, that is, and Latney lays it up and in. Latney backing in, got his first points of the afternoon. 31-28, Chowan leading with 3:49 to go in the half. Here's a drive inside, it's no good. Miller's there for the follow. He can't get it to drop, but he gets fouled from behind. And that's going to get us to the media timeout. That foul, by the way, was on Latney for the visitors from out of Franklin Springs. 3:42 to go in the half. Chowan leads 31-28. Back for more after this 1-minute break on GoSeeHawks.com. Don't forget, we'll be with you again tomorrow on GoSeeYouHawks.com. These same two teams will tip it at 2 o'clock tomorrow. These games will reschedule time-wise for the weekend due to the women's game being postponed for tomorrow. So the game tonight moved from 7 to 5, and tomorrow from 4 to 2, which works out well for Emmanuel. Gives him a chance to get back and get a little more rest for tonight. Chance to get a good meal, getting out of here at a decent time. And then tomorrow gets on the road a couple hours early than it would to make that trip back to Georgia. Here's Andrew Miller at the line. Free throw is a little strong and no good. Miller from Fayetteville, North Carolina, played at Trinity Christian down in Fayetteville. One of the top private schools in the state of North Carolina. Second free throw is short, so he misses both, and the rebound comes off to Latney, who picked up the foul prior to the media timeout. Latney maneuver front court. Jamal Thomas there to defend him. Kicks it far side to Lewis. In the corner to Foster. Foster with that left-handed dribble works against Dillard. Now back off to Latney. Latney trying to go in against the smaller Thomas. Back to Lewis. Lewis cutting in the lane in the corner. Wide open jumper from Michael Wright for three is no good. They fight for the rebound, and Jalen Dillard's able to claim it because Jamal Thomas got a hand on it. Willis to pull it up. He pushed off prior as he was working out front. Was Willis, or did he get somebody from Chowan down inside? Let's see. Foul was on Miller for the illegal pick. That's unfortunate because it denied Chowan a three-pointer from Jaden Willis out on the right. Jones back in the lineup now after a nice little breather. He'll push it away near side to Latney. Latney off to Lewis. Lewis trying to go inside. He's cut off nicely by Willis. Now moves to the left side to four. Off it comes to Latney. Good defensive effort here by Chowan. Latney right at the elbow. Back to Lewis. Lewis with 9 to shoot. Chowan once again defensively doing a good job here. Off to Rucker. Rucker dials up a three. Same spot he made one early. This was no good. Good block out and rebound for Andrew Miller. Here's Willis with it on the left wing. Pulls up the dribble, gives it away to McFall. McFall to Thomas. Hands it away to Dillard. Dillard moving to the top of the key. Calls out Miller, who will hand it away to Willis. And quickly, Latney jumps out in front of him. We got a push out front against Javon Rucker. And by my count, that's his third. It is. And it will be his third. So Rucker picks up his third with 2:28 left. And Kyler Ingram will get back in the lineup and replace him. As Willis will get in the lineup. Oh, correction. Willis will go to the line. Andrew Miller coming out. Take Williams back in. Good few minutes here for Andrew Miller, freshman at Fayetteville, North Carolina. Once again, Chowan without Elijah Hill today, one of their starters. He'll be back tomorrow. And also Emmanuel without senior point guard Tavon Stuckey. As the free throw is missed by Willis. He fails to get the second bonus by missing the first. Here's Latney trying to back inside on Thomas. Short jumper won't go. Tip around inside. Off the hands of Ingram and out of bounds to Chowan. A little volleyball action underneath by the big guys, keeping it tipped up and alive. Chowan will maneuver back front court, working to the east goal here at the Hawks Athletic Center. It's been the home of Chowan basketball since 1982. Very nice facility here in this part of the state. Here's Tonke Williams. Backdoor to Dillard. He'll lay it up and in. That's good playmaking that time to Dillard. Breaking backdoor from the nice pass from Tonke Williams. Former junior college teammates making it work here in the first half. Ingram well out behind the arc, top of the key. Exactly where you need him if you're Chowan. In the corner for Michael Lewis, or Michael Wright, that is. This long three, no good. Kyler Ingram with the offensive glass, and he'll turn and score. Ingram's a big body guy, 6'5", but he plays much bigger with those wide shoulders and just powers his way inside to get the offensive glass. 82 seconds to go in the half. Tonke Williams skip past to Dillard, out front to McFall. He'll go inside, and it's got a blocking foul coming on Ingram. Boy, McFall was going in for the big slam, and Ingram trying to draw the charge is going to whistle for the block. Boy, if that would have gone down. My man next to me here, this is Zywan Exum, who's engineering. I think he would have left the booth over here. Here's McFall at the line. Jonathan got started early tonight. He had 8, hadn't scored here of late. Misses the free throw. Started tonight a 91% free throw shooter, but has missed 2 out of 3. Second coming for the Bahamas native, and he makes the second one. Chowan led by Dillard with 11, 9 for McFall, 9 to lead the way by KJ Jones for Emmanuel. So Hawks with 70 seconds going to half, lead it 34-32 as Jones just goes right down the middle of the lane and scoops it up to score. And Willis to the rack, and he's going to be fouled by Lewis. Good recognition that time by the Hawks in transition to get it to the breaking Willis. And he took it inside on Lewis and drew the foul, and that'll be 2 shots coming here for Jaden Willis on Wright's first foul. Or Lewis said his first foul of the first half. Willis a couple dribbles. Left-handed free throws on its way, and it's good. Second free throw is money as well for Willis. Jaden is in double figures now with 10. And we got a timeout. So it's going to be a 30-second or full timeout. Let's see. Fisher underneath has indicated it's going to be a 30-second timeout. Coming up at halftime, we'll go over the stats and kind of give you some scoring for the half. Take a look at the standings. Got a good slate of games coming up tomorrow as well. We'll go over that also here at halftime. Congratulations to all the students who made the presidential honor roll here in Conference Carolinas. I think Emmanuel was represented by 324 of their student athletes. Chowan represented by 229. Both basketball teams are well represented. Unfortunately, the score sheet that I had all labeled on is at home, so doesn't do me any good. But we'll catch up tomorrow. Here comes Emmanuel with 1 minute to go in the half. Trailing 36-32 here late in the first half. Jones works off a pick from England, pulls up the dribble. Now kicks it out front to Michael Wright. Again, it'll come to KJ Jones. KJ trying to go against Tonky Williams, lost his balance, nearly threw it away. Recovered by Wright. Here's reverse layup, blocked away by Tonky Williams. Williams with a block and the steal. Good defensive effort again by the Hawks. Here's Willis, kicks it into Jamal Thomas on the right wing. Thomas takes it inside. Reverse layup, no good. Tapped around inside, and I think Thomas might have got away with a walk. Shot clock's gone dark. Here's Lewis back out to Michael Wright. Wright working against pressure from McFall. They'll get away to Jones. Dillard will come out well beyond the arc to apply pressure on the conference leading scorer. They're going to just set it up and let him go one-on-one against Dillard. Jones to the rack, lays it up and in. He can't defend much better than Dillard did. Willis will let it go just before the end of the half, and it doesn't come close, but the Hawks lead it here at the break, 36-34. We'll take a 2-minute break, come out and give you the scoring from the first half and the numbers, and we'll look at a little bit more when we come back at the break here at the Hawks Athletic Center, where Chowan leads Emmanuel 36-34. You're listening to it on GoCUHawks.com. At the break, Chowan leads 36-34 over Emmanuel. Own game being played in Conference Carolinas today in men's action. Let's give you the numbers here in the first half. Chowan shoots 40.6% on 13 of 32 shooting, 4 of 13 beyond the arc for 30.8%. The Hawks are not very good at the free throw line, 6 of 11 for 54.5%. Emmanuel County shooting 48.1% on the field for 13 of 27, 3 of 10 beyond the arc, and they made 5 of the 6 free throws. Turnovers is what Chowan has been able to keep the lead here. They forced 9 Emmanuel turnovers, and Chowan turned those 9 turnovers into 13 points here in the first half. On the boards, Chowan rebounded Emmanuel 19 to 17 in their first half, and the defense has been really good. Take Williams leading Chowan on the glass. Leading the way, Jalen Dillard, 11 points in the first half, 10 for Jaden Willis, 9 for Jonathan McFall, 2 each for Jamal Thomas, Take Williams, and Paul Whitby. And Chase Barnett, Xavier Young, and Andrew Miller all played in the first half and did not score. For Emmanuel, they were led by K.J. Jones with 13 first-half points. He was 5 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 beyond the arc, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. 7 points for Kyler Ingham, 7 points for Javon Rucker, 3 for Jasper Gibson, 2 each for Brandon Simpson and Kendall Latney. Christian Lewis, along with Michael Wright, played in that first half but did not score, along with Isaiah Foster. That's the numbers from the first half. Chowan's biggest lead in the first half, 7, and the biggest lead for Emmanuel was 7 as well. And here at the break, Chowan's got a 36-34 lead. Back for more after this 5-minute break as you're listening and watching Friday Night Basketball here from the Hawks Athletic Center, where the Chowan men lead Emmanuel 36-34. You listen to it on GoSeeYouHawks.com. 36-34, the lead for Chowan here at the break over Emmanuel as Gaddis Hodges back here at Hawks Athletic Center. Chowan team making their way back on the court here after discussing a few things with the Chowan coaching staff. And the coach Fred Fitz is in his 9th year here at Chowan. And he had to really be pleased with the way his team played in the first half, especially on the defensive end. Some scores to pass along from back on Thursday night. North Greenville beat Erskine 83-57, and Barton beat Mine Olive 74-63. Of course, Emmanuel knocked off North Greenville on the road in Tigerville. They're trying to win back-to-back home road games here against Chowan today. Of course, these two teams will play again tomorrow. That'll be one of 5 games being contested tomorrow here in the conference. King is at Erskine, Belmont Abbey is at North Greenville, Lees McRae is at Barton, and Southern Westland at Mine Olive. So a lot of good games on tap tomorrow. All those games are 4 o'clock or later tomorrow. I think the Mine Olive Southern Westland game's at 6 tomorrow night, but the rest of those games at 4. Of course, our game tomorrow will be played at 2 o'clock. We'll take another 2-minute timeout, come back and look over the standings here as we work in the 3rd weekend of the Conference Carolinas basketball season. Here at the break, Chowan 36, Emmanuel 34, and you're listening and watching on GoSeeYourHawks.com. Well, Emmanuel College having a good discussion with head coach T.J. Rosine. They're still in the locker room. It's about 2 minutes and 10 seconds before we resume this game in the second half. Chowan leads here in the break 36-34. Let's take a look at the conference standings here as far as the men is concerned. Lees McRae, who's playing at Barton tomorrow, is at 3-0 on the season, 3-0 overall. Belmont Abbey is at 5-1 and 7-2. Like I said, Belmont Abbey and Emmanuel have played 4 times, 2 non-conference matchups, 2 conference matchups, and they have split both. Have Belmont Abbey and Emmanuel. Emmanuel at 3-1 and 5-4. North Greenville 3-3 and 3-3 overall. Chowan at 2-2 and 2-2 overall. Southern Westland at 2-2 and 2-2 overall. They're at Mine Olive tomorrow. Barton at 2-3 and 2-3 overall. Big news out of Barton. Isaiah Reddish, their terrific inside player who'd been out most of the season with injury, returned on Thursday night and helped lead Barton to a 74-63 win over the Trojans. Chowan will see Barton on Tuesday night up in Wilson, and Reddish will be back in the lineup. Will make a huge difference for the Bulldogs, who fell here early in the season 95-65. Mine Olive at 2-5 in the conference and 2-5 overall. King at 1-4 and 2-5, and Erskine, which has had problems with the pandemic in that program, just 0-2 in the conference and 0-2 overall. They'll get King tomorrow down at Due West, South Carolina. And want to mention about the Conference Carolina Basketball Championships. That was scheduled once again to be played at the Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium down at Wofford University, but Wofford has got a limitations due to the pandemic on visitors coming on campus. And so the conference has made a decision to play the conference tournament at the home of the higher seeds. The quarterfinals will be at the home of the higher seeded teams. Semifinals and finals will be the same. That's going to be on the first week in March. So no Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium for this year's Conference Carolina Championship. Hoping next year we'll be able to get back to it and get back to some normalcy and get back on the campus of Wofford University next year. As Chowan will get the ball to start the second half. As Willis will inbound it to Dillard to Willis. And Foster waits on Willis as he gets across the timeline, gets it to McFall and to Thomas. Let's see if Chowan can play as well in the second half they did in the first. They lead it here 36-34, and here's a turnover as Tonke Williams trying to bounce it back door. Trying to bounce it back door to the breaking Jamal Thomas and threw it away. Chowan had just 4 turnovers in that first half and turned it over in the first possession here to the start second half. Not what you need if you're the Hawks here. This is Lewis, dumps it down inside on Jones. Jones trying to work inside on Dillard. Dillard, he'll turn and can't score on Dillard, but he drew the foul on Dillard, who had a little something to say. There's a Richmond, Virginia senior to the official underneath. And Jones will be to the line. He's pretty good from the stripe this season. Began today 88% on the year and knocks down the first. And he can tie it with his free throw. Jones is a perfect 2 for 2 in that first half from the stripe. And he misses the second here. And I put the jinx on him, so Chowan continues to hold to a 1-point advantage. We're early in the second half here from Chowan's Bob Burke Court in the middle of the Hawks Athletic Center. McFall hands it away to Dillard. Dillard trying to work against pressure from right. Crosses him over, takes him in the lane. Runner is good. Dillard was just not going to be denied him for his 13th point of this ball game. That'll push the Hawks back in front at 38-35. Wright, one dribble, gets in top of the key to Ingram, who starts his second half. Place of Rucker, who's got 3 fouls, and to get it back door to Ingram, and he's fouled by Willis. So a 3-point play opportunity coming here from Kylie Ingram to try to tie it up. 2 quick fouls to start the second half on Chowan. The first on Dillard. Second team foul. So here's Ingram, who had a pretty good first half at the line. Ingram had 7 points in that first half. And he is now 2 of 3 from the stripe. He ties this game up at 38. Bench doing some good work with Coach T.J. Rosine's team. Willis caught down the low block in the double team. Kicks it back out front to Tonke Williams. Williams gives it to Thomas. Thomas near side to McFall. Fall, one dribble to Dillard. Good maneuvering here for defensively for Emmanuel. 6 to shoot. Here's Willis, fakes up a defender, and we get Tonke Williams for the moving pick as he locked Willis to the deck. So 3 fouls, team fouls for Chowan in the first minute and 31 seconds.
Foul number 33, Jasper Gibson, his second. Excuse me, foul on Tonke Williams, his second.
The second foul of the evening for Tonke Williams. He's the only player from Chowan with 2 fouls. Foster with it, has to get rid of it, goes to Jones in the corner. Jones loops it back out to Foster, top of the key to Michael Wright. Wright trying to move inside against Willis, and Willis with the hand check is going to be whistled for his second foul of this second half. And that's 4 team fouls now for Chowan. It's not what you need if you're the Hawks here, starting this second half. Pretty good free throw shooting team at 75% is Emmanuel. Here's Simpson getting behind McFall and scores down inside. A nice looping pass from K.J. Jones. Simpson's second bucket of the night, and that has given Emmanuel the first lead here in the second half at 40-38. McFall pushing away to Willis. Foster jumps out on Willis quickly. Boy, you can see a little more intensity in his defense, especially on the perimeter for Emmanuel in this second half. Here's Dillard to the rack, running one-handed, blocked away by Ingram, and one of the officials said it was a goaltend. It was a late call on Ingram, and Dillard's going to be given the bucket. One coach agrees, the other one does not. 40 apiece. 17 and a half minutes is what we have left to play here in regulation. Here's a reach-in foul out front. Let's see if it's going to be Dillard or Tonke Williams. Going to be a Tonke. Is going to be his third. So let's see what Coach Brett Vinson, he's playing with a shorter bench today because Elijah Hill is not here, but he'll be back tomorrow. He was participating in the cross-country championships in Concord, North Carolina today, representing Chowan. Ingram gets it to right and pops out beyond the arc. Well, with it, Simpson in and McPhail. McPhail got a hand on it. Ingram's there for the offensive glass, but lost it. McPhail gathers for Chowan and moves front court. McPhail coast to coast, left-handed layup's no good. Michael Wright's going to reach in and foul it. Nobody picked up McPhail coming down the middle of the lane. So, personal on Michael Wright is going to be his first and the team first. And here's McFall at the line. Jonathan's free throw is good. That'll give Chowan the lead back at 1 point at 41-40. Once again, nobody in the house here other than the Chowan ladies basketball team. Maybe a half a dozen of their players are here as McFall makes both. Jonathan now with 11 points. As Jalen Dillard will come out, Xavier Young gets back in. See if Young's going to draw the defensive assignment against the taller Jones. Dillard's done a nice job against Jones today, who has 14, but it's a tough assignment here for Xavier Young at just 5'9" against the 6'6" Jones. They go back door to Jones, and he gathers and rolls it in. Jones not only got the height, he's got great quickness. He just blew by Young that time to get the easy bucket. Thomas with it right in front of the Chowan bench, 42 apiece. Inside to McFall, he can't hold it, and Foster's got the steal. Chowan with the turnover here. A second of the second half. Foster backing it back out for the Lions, off to Jones. Jones had a career high 36 a couple weeks ago against Belmont Abbey. Here's a pull-up jumper by Simpson for three and is good. That gives the lead back to the Lions. Simpson had just 2 points in the first half, got 5 here in the second half. To the rack goes Willis, blocked away by Ingram, who might be hurt. He came down a little awkwardly on that right leg. He's got a band on that right knee. And let's see, he's going to make his way to the sidelines here as Javon Rucker will get back in. And that will be a media timeout. 15:53 to go in the second half. Lions, who trail here at the break, now lead at 45-42. Well, back to Murfreesboro on GoCUHawks.com after this 1 minute break. $15:53 left. Going in the second half. First of 2 games this weekend for Emmanuel and Chowan men. The second one comes your way tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We'll have it for you at GoCUHawks.com. Back here at the Bob Burke Court here in the Hawks Athletic Center. Busy place here today. Chowan's women's swimming team was hosting UNC Pembroke this afternoon here in the Byron Brown Aquatic Center, which is located in the back end of this facility. Emmanuel gets it in. Simpson to Michael Wright, now back to Simpson. He'll bounce it down inside to Jones, who's working against the smaller Jamal Thomas again. Now back out front, long three by Simpson. He's got another one. All of a sudden, Brandon Simpson starting to find the range. 8 of his 10 have been here in the second half, and back to a 6-point lead for Emmanuel. Here's Take Williams wide open three, trying to answer back the other way, and he's got it. Take Williams has got 5, his first 3 of the day. Simpson had only hit 4 of 17 three-pointers prior to today's action. Here's McFall catching the arm of KJ Jones well out away from the basket, picks up his first foul. And that's Chowan's 6th foul already in the second half. We're probably going to see some free throws coming here from Emmanuel here in the second half. Chowan's early foul, kind of foul prone early in this half. KJ Jones, a rare 3 off the iron, no good. They battle for it. It's off the hands of Wright. It'll belong to Chowan back the other way. As Simpson and Wright were battling Jonathan McFall down in a little block for the rebound. 5 minutes have expired here in the second half. Emmanuel has seized a 3-point lead here. Here's Willis. Off his feet, Xavier Young for the tie. Got it! Xavier Young from out on the right. Good job by Xavier Young, who played briefly in the first half but did not score. Big 3 at the right time. So the Hawks, who were down 6, come back with a couple threes from Take Williams and Xavier Young to tie it at 48. Here's Wright, one dribble in the corner to Foster. Foster to Javon Rucker. Rucker short jump in the lane, went in, came out. Rebound out to McFall. Simpson had the inside position, but the ball came up a little odd and over his head. McFall can't convert back the other way on the coast-to-coast layup, taken down by Rucker. Rucker off to Foster, who'll streak across the timeline. In the corner to Simpson. He's had the hot hand blocked away by McFall. McFall it is, but he went right to KJ Jones, and he'll lay it up and in. Jones with the garbage bucket. He gives the lead back to Emmanuel. Jones just the right man in the right spot. After McFall got a hand on that 3-point attempt from Simpson. Young and Whedon played, and Willis played a little 2-man game out front. McFall's wide open from the free throw line, can't convert. Rebound off to Wright for the Lions. He'll get away to Simpson. Simpson back to Wright. Wright's an excellent 3-point shooter, but he hadn't let it fly much today. He works out top of the key inside to Rucker. Back out to Foster. A rare shot for Foster, and he got it.
3-point basket, number 2,
Isaiah Foster's first bucket of the afternoon. Simpson and Foster starting to come alive here in the second half, and it's enabled the Lions to take the lead back. Xavier Young trying his hand at another 3, and this was no good. Rucker all alone on the far side of the basket for the rebound. Lions doing a good job keeping Chowan off the glass here in the second half. They're trying to add to a 53-48 lead. Beat Chowan for the 4th consecutive time. Wide open is Rucker inside. A little high post bounce pass down to Rucker. And Rucker's got 9 now, his first bucket of the second half. And this match is the biggest lead of the day for Emmanuel at 7. 55-48, skip pass to Young. Far side in the middle of this zone. Works McFall, short jumper, no good. Ball still loose. McFall had it, lost it. Still loose and taken aim by KJ Jones. Jones trying to go coast to coast, and Jamal Thomas is going to foul him, trying to steal it back. So Jamal Thomas will pick up his 2nd foul, and that will get KJ Jones 2 more free throw opportunities. He had 99 opportunities coming in here today.
Fouls on number 11, Jamal Thomas, his 2nd. KJ Jones the line shooting.
So here's Jones with a pair of free throws, and he's got it. Jones now 4 or 5 from the stripe. Here's Ingram and Gibson back in the lineup. Wright and Foster will take a breather for the Lions. Xavier Young will step out of the lineup. Jalen Diller back in for Chowan. Clock's balls with 12:36 to go in this second half. Chowan trails here at home, 56-48. Jones can make it a 9-point advantage for the Lions and does. 20 now for Jones. He averages 21.8 a game. Chowan in danger now of letting this game get away from them. They need a bucket here, down 57-48, 12:21 to go. Here's Willis trying to give it to him, and he does so just inside the arc, right on the right side. His first bucket of the half. 12 points now for the leading scorer here from the Hawks, who transferred from Limestone a year ago here to Chowan. Simpson has had a good start in the second half, working against pressure from Willis. Right in front of a standing T.J. Rosine, the head coach here for Emmanuel. He's spent several years down at the Franklin Springs, Georgia school. Jones kicks it away to Simpson. Long NBA three type, no good. Take Williams tipped it to himself in front of Rucker. Now back over to Thomas. Thomas has his pocket picked by Jones. Jones' third turnover in the second half, and here's Simpson trying to dunk it after Jones pulled the defense to him, and Take Williams is going to pick up personal number 4. And that'll get us to the second media timeout of this second half. It's a 57-50 lead here for Emmanuel. With 11:36 left to go, we're back after this 1-minute break on GoSeeYourHawks.com. Be sure to join me every Thursday night at Earl 98.3 here in Murfreesboro locally. You can also go online, go to our website. You can find online to listen to. They have Coach's Corner, which is all about Chowan University athletics. This week has been the COSIDA Membership Recognition Week. We honored the SIDs at each school and the sports information directors. And I had Evan Carpenter, our assistant athletic director for athletic communications, and Ryan Smith, who's the director of communications down at Mianola, one with me this past Thursday. Enjoyed talking to those guys about what they do in sports information, why they have been drawn to this field. Of course, Ryan is a graduate of Chowan. Simpson, who's had a good second half at the line, makes the first. He'll try to make it a 9-point advantage here with his second free throw, and it's hit the front of rim and fell in. Simpson now with 12, 10 in the second half. My numbers are correct. Here's Dillon working out front. And to McFall, who'll turn around and hand it to Willis. Jaden back out front, gives it to McFall. McFall trying to penetrate, pulls it up over Gibson, can't score. Nothing but gray shirts underneath. Once again, Chowan not doing much on the offensive glass. Manuel's doing a very good job down in the low block. Here's K.J. Jones trying to work against Thomas, and Dillard comes over to help cut him off. Back to Gibson. Gibson pulls up the dribble, hands it away to Simpson. Simpson back to Gibson on the left wing, trying to lob it inside to Ingram, and threw it right into the hands of Chowan's McFall. Here's a three-pointer on the way from Willis. No good, but a long rebound banks right in the hands of Dillard, who was right in front of the Chowan bench beyond the arc. Chowan with a fresh 20 seconds. Dillard in the corner to Thomas. Thomas try to maneuver against this man-to-man pressure. Fakes up Simpson, fall away jumper from Thomas, no good. All of a sudden, Chowan can't find the bottom of the hoop here in the second half, and they trail 59-50. We're near the halfway point of this second half. First of two between the Lions and the Hawks this weekend. Second one comes up tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Simpson trying to go inside against Dillard, forced it up, powered his way up and scored. Simpson continues to lead the way here for the Lions. The biggest lead now with 11. First double-digit lead for either team. Chowan's had a 7-point lead and led a good portion of the first half, but not working here in the second half for the Hawks after such a splendid effort in the first half. Willis going inside, bites in the corner. McFall, his three-pointer is short. And McFall got his own rebound but couldn't hold it. Gibson had the good block out, but McFall got around him and trying to retrieve his own missed shot and knocked it out of bounds. So they'll give it back to the Lions, who will try to come front court and add to this 11-point lead. Jones who was pretty much the man in the first half, starting to get some help here in the second half. Ingram powers his way inside and scores left-handed. Ingram's in double digits now with 11. That's a 13-point advantage for the visiting Lions. Andrew Miller wide open, straight on, 18 feet and is short. A lot of the Chowan shots are looking short, which means a lot of time has a lot to do with being tired. Jones going inside, runner's no good. Ingram had the rebound, they fight for it. He and Andrew Miller tie up. Both take a seat on the floor. And alternating possession there is pointing which way? I think it's pointed in the way of the Lions, and it is. That was pause the clock with 9:07 to go in his second half. Chowan trails 63-50. Trying to win for only the second time in the series against Emmanuel. The series started back in 2006. Here's Miller had to line up, and Chase Barnett makes his first appearance in the second half. The redshirt junior transfer from out of Sand Hills Community College. He hails from Matthews, North Carolina, which is just outside of Charlotte. Jones turns in the lane, short jumper, no good. McFall goes high to claim it for the Hawks. Off to Thomas to Barnett on the right wing. Gibson's there to cut him off. McFall had a notion, didn't take it. Well, out beyond there. Willis will take it for three, and he drained it. Chowan needed a basket. Willis is there to give it to him. For the three from right on the left. For Willis, his third three ball today in 6 attempts. He's got 15 along with Dillard to lead the scoring, and Dillard with an ear steal on the near side knocks it out of bounds right in front of the Emmanuel bench. It's a rarity to see Chowan in blue at home, which I love their blue uniforms. And normally away, and that's what we're seeing on these weekends where you play two games, the two teams swap their road and home uniforms one day to the next, which I kind of like. Here's Jones trying to cut inside. We got an illegal pick on Ingram right on the perimeter. He tried to step out and set a pick on Dillard, and he got caught moving with it. Just a second team foul for Emmanuel in his second half, and the second foul of the day on Kyler Ingram. Atlanta, Georgia product. Prepped at Cambridge High School down in Atlanta. Here's Dillard getting it away to Barnett. Barnett looking at his first points of the Hawk. Here's Willis, lost the dribble. Simpson's got it, trying to get it to Rucker. Barnett trying to cut him off, and Rucker's going to easily get the dunk. Chowan has matched the turnover production in the second half that they had in the first half and 4. It's Rucker who now becomes the fourth player to reach double figures in the ball game here for Emmanuel. Gives Emmanuel a 12-point advantage with 8:11 left as K.J. Jones steps out of the lineup. Isaiah Foster's back in. Here's Barnett working against the taller Ingram. Takes it inside, and the ball's knocked out of bounds by Gibson. Chase got caught off his feet, nowhere to go with it. He's trying to get it over in the corner to Willis, and Gibson knocked it out of bounds. Fortunate for Barnett. Thomas back to Willis. Willis trying to go inside by a guy Rucker, and he loses out of bounds. That'll get us to the third media timeout of the half. Emmanuel seized control. They lead here at Chowan with 7:53 to go in the second half, 65-53. And you're listening and watching on GoSeeYouHawks.com. Back after this 1-minute break. Chowan and Emmanuel will go at it again tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and then Chowan will be away from the Hawks Athletic Center for 13 days before they come back here on Valentine's weekend to take on King. Chowan next Tuesday will make their way to Barton down in Wilson. And then next weekend they'll head down to Southern Wesleyan, I believe, down in Central South Carolina for a Friday, Saturday double header. Emmanuel will travel back tomorrow after the game to Franklin Springs, Georgia, and then head up to Due West, South Carolina on Tuesday to take on Erskine. Here's K.J. Jones back in the lineup, working out between the rings over to Foster. He'll pull up the dribble and looks to get rid of it, finds Simpson out on the right. Now to Jones. Jones, nice switch off that time by Barnett to cut him off after Foster set a nice pick for him. Now back to Jones after getting away to Rucker. 3 to shoot, runner by Jones. It's no good, but he's headed to the free throw line because he's fouled by Jalen Dillard. Jalen looks a little disgusted, to be honest. He's had his hands full trying to defend Jones. Did a nice job in the first half. Got him to 13 points. He's got 7 here in the second half, does Jones. But Simpson coming alive here in the second half has made a huge difference for Emmanuel. As Jones' free throw falls in. Made a couple little extra trips around the rim before falling in on the front for Jones. As Chase Barnett's side the lineup now, Jamal Thomas back in. Or Tonke Williams, I'm sorry. Tonke playing with 4 fouls. Trying to avoid foul tonight for the first time this season. Jones drops both free throws. 22 now for the sophomore from out of Atlanta. Chowan down now by the biggest deficit of the day by 14. Here's an inside little looping shot. McFall can't convert. Nice pass from Tonke Williams. It is just not dropping for the Hawks here in the second half. And Foster getting loose inside. His short jumper no good. Ingram's there for the putback. Ingram with 13, and he's done it off the bench here today. Dillard bounces it away to McFall. McFall hands it away to Willis. 6'8" Rucker right on Willis. Now to Tonke Williams. Wide open 3 for Tonke. Misses. Chowan just cannot buy one here in the second half. Kendall Latney's coming to the ball game. He's got the basketball out between the rings. Pushes it away on the right wing to Jones, who works against the smaller Jamal Thomas. Now working off a pick from Ingram. Tried to get it back in the corner to Latney. Latney's going to try to back in. Fall away jumper over with the smaller Willis is good. Kendall Latney just backed the smaller Willis down on the low block. Latney's got a field goal in each half. And that extends the lead to 18 now. Willis trying to answer back the other way. 3-pointer won't go. And once again, nothing but gray shirts underneath. As Jones is credited with the board. Jones with 7 rebounds now to go along with his 22 points. Here's a putback on the near inside by Kendall Latney. So back-to-back field goals by Latney. And Coach Brett Vince has asked for a timeout. We'll take the media timeout. 73 for Emmanuel, 53 Chowan, 5:47 left. Back after this 1-minute break on GoCUHawks.com. Chowan having trouble scoring the basketball here in the second half. 6 of 19 from the field for 31.6% shooting. Emmanuel has turned it up a notch. They are 14 of 23. right at 61% in the second half, and they have really exploded after being down 2 at the break, lead it now 73-53. Coach T.J. Rosine has put a couple of new players in the lineup here. In the lineup for the first time, Jackson Bailey and also Christian Lewis back in the lineup. As they'll replace Ingram and Simpson. Chowan comes back with Dillard, Xavier Young, Jamal Thomas, Jonathan McFall, and Tonky Williams. Here's Williams. Out front it comes to Dillard. Good ball movement by the Hawks. Here's McFall right in the middle of that zone, and he finally breaks the skid here for Chowan. That's the first field goal for Chowan since the 8:54 mark. We have 5:22 to go here in this ball game. Here's Jones working out front to the double team. Over in the corner to Latney. Now Lewis has got it, trying to go inside against the smaller Young. Back door it goes to Rucker. Layup is no good. Rucker's got his own board, tried to stick it back in, he traveled with it. Took a little extra hop to try to maneuver for some extra leverage and picked up the 4th turnover in the second half for the Emmanuel Lions. 13th on the day. As 3/4 of this second half is in the books. So we're just going to tick under 5 minutes to go. Here's Xavier Young working right in front of the Chowan bench. McFall again in the middle of the zone. He scores again. McFall now with 16 to lead the Chowan scores. That is his average 16. So back-to-back buckets after the timeout here for McFall. Jones to the rack, lays it up and in. Nobody cut the breaking Jones off, and conference's lead scorer now has 24 on my count. And it's 75-57. Maybe I'm giving him a little more than a couple more points than he's credited with. Williams, this long jump in the corner, no good. They fight for the rebound, and Rucker slaps it away from Jamal Thomas, and will go recover over in the corner. Jones again backing up, fires up the 3 and is good. This guy's really, really smooth, I'm telling you. As he buries the 3. 21-point lead now for the Lions. There's Young stepping back, fires the 3, got it. Xavier Young, second 3 ball of the afternoon. He's got 6 now. 27 for Jones and 8 rebounds and 3 assists. And here's a turnover back the other way for Chowan. And that'll get us to the final media timeout. 3:32 is what's showing on our Metal Tech-a-Mumford's scoreboard. Unfortunately, also shows Emmanuel leading Chowan 78-60. Back for the final 3:32 after this 1-minute break on GoSeeYouHawks.com. (78-60) Emmanuel leads here at Chowan with 3:32 left. Gaddis Hodges with you high above the Bob Burke court here, the Hawks Athletic Center. Only game being contested today in men's action is what we have down in front of us here. Emmanuel looks like they could be well on their way to their 6th win of the season, giving Chowan that 3rd consecutive loss. But stranger things have happened. But Hawks down 18 and got to go quickly. Here's Young with it. Top of the key over to Williams. Williams in the corner to Thomas. Thomas caught in the double team. Tried to get it back to Tonke Williams and threw it away. Lewis and Jackson Bailey jumped out and double teamed Thomas and forced him to turn it over. Chowan's 9th turnover here in the second half. After just turning it over 11th turnover in the second half. I'm sorry, I've just turned it over 4 times in the first half. Here's Latney, dribbled it off his foot, and it goes out of bounds. Well, they said it went off McPhail, and so it'll belong to Emmanuel. Emmanuel inbounds right in front of their own bench here. And out in front it comes to Rucker. Emmanuel, one of those schools here in the conference that does not have football. Matter of fact, Mount Olive does not have it. Southern Wesleyan doesn't have it. And Belmont Abbey. Here's a runner for Jones, misses, and over in the corner, but goes to Chowan as it goes out of bounds. Barton has just started, yet to play their first game. They're scheduled to play their first game this fall and then wasn't able to play. Erskine kind of in the same boat. They were scheduled to play Chowan early this year was Erskine. Everybody will get back to football next fall, we hope. UNC Pembroke coming into the league has football. North Greenville has football. Francis Marion coming to the league does not. So here's Thomas working out on the right wing. Pulls up the dribble back to Tonke Williams. Gets it back door to Dillon. Jalen scores. Jalen with 17 to lead the Chowan scoring. 16 for McFall, 15 for Willis. Hawks pull within 16, but time running out on the Hawks here. 2:21 left. Here's Latney working against pressure right front as the Lions have kind of spreaded the floor here. They really want to work some shot clock. As Latney goes inside and uses the left arm to get himself some space and gets whistled with a personal after he pushed Tonke Williams to the deck. Second foul on Latney and the third team foul in the second half. And here comes another substitution for Emmanuel. Lewis will come out of the lineup. Into the lineup is going to be Keeley Covington. Covington making his first appearance today. There's Thomas with it, trying to maneuver, and Covington's got to pick up the foul, trying to hand check Thomas. Covington's first, team fourth. Also in the lineup for the first time, Cody Boyd. He's here to replace KJ Jones, who's probably done for the day with 27 points and 8 boards. Inside it goes to Xavier Young, and Xavier sticks in the bucket. He's got 8. It ties his season high. Came back in that loss at Mount Olive back on Tuesday night. Foster well out away from the basket, just trying to work some clock here for the Lions. Trying to rest up some of their starters. We'll get back at it again tomorrow, both of these teams. Chowan will be a little stronger tomorrow on the bench because they'll have starter Elijah Hill back tomorrow. He was unable to play today because taking part in the cross-country championships. Tonke Williams with the steal. Off to Xavier Young against Covington. Layups up and in.
Xavier Young.
Xavier's in double digits for the first time this season. And Coach Brett Vinson wants a timeout with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Is this going to be a full timeout or a 30-second timeout? There will be a 30-second timeout. Once again, we'll do this all again tomorrow, beginning at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. No women's basketball this weekend due to Emmanuel's unable to make the trip due to some pandemic issues in their program. It has certainly been not in the minority. Everybody's had a little dose of it somewhere down the line. Fortunately, Chowan's been able to get all their games in, with the exception of the game last week with Erskine. But nearly everybody in the league has had a game postponed, whether it was themselves or the opponents. And you see it, Division II, Division III, and Division I's had a difficult time with it as well. We had some of the Division I women's basketball teams opting out, like Duke and Virginia. So you can see it's still affecting college athletics. I'd really got to say hats off to Conference Carolinas. These teams are trying to get some time in, trying to get the games in, and I think the schools are doing a great job trying to make sure it happens. What was really ideal was when everybody was able to start after the Christmas break. So they put a minute, let's see, trying to get some climb back on the scoreboard. Let's say 1:19. Chowan got a pressure in the backcourt. This is Covington caught in the double team. Gets it away to Latney. Near side, they try to get it to Bailey, but stolen away by Williams. Slinky with his steal. Got the shot deep corner, no good. High to grab the rebound. It's going to be Kendall Latney for Emmanuel. Inside of a minute left here at Chowan. Covington out on the left. Transfer from Wallace State Community College. Morgan gets pressure from Thomas. Get it inside to Bailey. Turn around. Short jumper, no good. Covington had his pocket pick. Take Williams has got the steal. As we go back the other way, and we got a whistle underneath. Foul's going to be on Isaiah Foster, who's still in the lineup. Just a 15 foul for Emmanuel. And Coach Rosine's going to go back to his bench. And here's a push-off here by Dillard. They get Dillard with a push-off. For Jalen, that will become foul number 3. Jackson Bailey will come out of the lineup, and to replace him is going to be Anderson Maswali. Also, Latney's out of the lineup, and Ethan Palmer's in. Also coming in the lineup is going to be Nick Strahan. So wholesale substitutions here for the Lions. Everybody's made the trip has played today. John's had a couple of guys that haven't gotten in the lineup, I believe. Here come the Lions front court. Maswali dumps it down inside. Layups up and good. Out of the hands of Ethan Palmer, who just come in the lineup. 80-66. Emmanuel with the lead. Williams to Dillard. Jalen working against pressure from Palmer. Goes to the rack. Layup no good. Rebounded by Maswali. Off to Covington. Covington gets away from McFall. Loops it inside. Jumper up and no good. And then put back up and no good by Nick Strahan. We got a whistle underneath. Let's see what this call is going to be. Looks like we're going to get a foul from Maswali.
Foul number 20, Anderson. A whistle.
8.4 seconds left. 80-66. Emmanuel's going to win here this afternoon. Thomas back out front to McFall. He'll fire up the 3 ball and is good. McFall is going to finish with 19, and that'll do it. Chowan falls for the 3rd consecutive game. He put up a good fight in the first half, but good shooting in the second half by Emmanuel spells the difference as the Hawks fall 80-69. We'll take a 2-minute break and come back and shut this one down and tell you all about tomorrow's matchup coming tomorrow. Once again, Emmanuel 80, Chowan 69. Back after this 2-minute break on GoSeeYouHawks.com. Second half shooting turns out to be the difference in this was Emmanuel found themselves down by 2 at the half and shoot 54.8% in the second half from 17 of 31, while Chowan shoots only 13 of 29 in the second half for 44.8%. The Hawks fall here 80 to 64 here this afternoon. 9 of 25 beyond the arc for Chowan, 7 of 18 beyond the arc for the visitors from Emmanuel. 13 of 15 from the free throw line for Emmanuel. Chowan 8 of 13. Chowan turned it over this afternoon 14 times, and Emmanuel got 20 points off the Chowan 14 turnovers. Chowan forced 17 turnovers themselves against Emmanuel, got 19 points off of theirs. But a couple differences here, 46 points in the paint compared to 24 Emmanuel over Chowan, and then off the bench, 25 points for Emmanuel off the bench here in this ball game tonight. And, of course, Tyler Ingram was a big part of that. Well, Kyler Ingram, as he had 14 points tonight off the bench. 14 for Brandon Simpson, 12 coming in the second half. KJ Jones goes 9 of 15 from the field, 2 of 4 beyond the arc, 7 of 4 from the free throw line. 27 points to go along with 8 rebounds and also 3 assists. Also lending a hand 11 points here for Rucker in this ball game for Emmanuel, 6 for Kendall Latney, 3 each for Foster and Gibson. Also 2 points from Ethan Palmer. Chowan had 3 players in double figures, or 4 players in double figures, led by Jonathan McFall with 18 points, 17 for Jalen Dillard, 15 for Jaden Willis, 10 for Xavier Young, 5 for Tonky Williams, 2 each for Paul Whitby and Jamel Thomas. Chase Barnett and Andrew Miller saw playing time in this ball game, but did not score. Once again, your final, Chowan falls here 80 to 64. We'll do it all again tomorrow, starting at 2 o'clock. Folks, until then, have a good Friday evening. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. It'll be Emmanuel and Chowan, second edition. See if Chowan can bounce back and beat Emmanuel tomorrow. We'll see. Starting at 2 o'clock tomorrow right here on GoSeeUHawks.com. Good night, everybody.